everyone, and welcome back to turn 2 of the longest blitz. Was it the longest blitz? No, it's the slowest blitz. What's my fucking brain right now? It's the slowest blitz. With Asphodel. Yay! Let's play. Woo! Alright, so, turn 2, as is customary, we get to go through all of the prophets and see if anyone has any fun names. We clock in with Homemade Sweets, the Minotaur Lord. Very fun, very fun. We have Pythium, Rar, I'm a dragon, the Centurion, a prophet of It's a Dragon. How appropriate, very nice. We've got Agartha, avid spelunker, the Cave Captain, prophet of It's a Magic Rock. Is it a magic rock? Suspicious. We've got Ulm, a flying circus opening fanfare, the commander of Ulm, prophet of It's Not a Dragon. There you go. So there's a theme to the names if you have not already noticed. We have Forest Swim in Blood, the Pyrenian. Okay, so this is one of those things I've got to stop and segue. So when they started dropping teasers for Dom 6 a while back, several months back, I saw the nation and I was like, oh. I immediately started calling it Pyrene because I thought, or I assumed, that it was based off of the Pyrenees Mountains, right? So the mountains between France and Spain. And I thought that that was the concept. And even now, as I say that, I realize I don't know that I'm even saying that word appropriately. I just think I am. But I don't know if that is actually what this nation is based off of or intended to be based off of. So I actually am very unsure of how to pronounce this, whether it's Pyrene, I've heard Pyrene, I've heard Pyrene, I've heard Pyrene, etc, etc. So if you know how to appropriately pronounce it, please let me know down in the comments below, because I fucking don't. Yay! It's a fever dream! That's actually somewhat appropriate to this conversation. Moving on. We've got Abysia, which is the only individual I think that didn't do the Itza. I think the player put their pretender in very early on before that started happening, basically. So, Kidzen, I'm coming for you. That's a call out. Kidzen is one of the other players in this particular match. The prophet of Kitty doth meoweth the most. Don't kitty just. Actually, my cat doesn't meow that much. This cat doesn't. He meows sometimes. He crybaby. Not too much. And then we have Naba. An oven is also a dry heat. Prophet of It's a Dry Heat. How appropriate. We've got Bandar Log, Bored Apes, Pyramid Scheme Club, prophet of It's a Monkey. Life could be a dream. Very cool. Phaeacia, say what's in this drink? That's a good question. Prophet of It's Cold Outside, baby. It is a little chilly, isn't it? Vanarus, GG at MapGen. That's funny because Zan is the individual who is running this game and did the MapGen. Prophet of It's a Monolith, I promise. Doubts. And then we have Jotunheim, Just a Tree, the Jotun Scout, prophet of It's Frozone. So we got some multiple cold references. Very fun, very fun. What are we doing this turn? We are expanding, hopefully. So we've got Homemade Sweets out here with a big chunk of satyrs. We've mixed our satyr sneaks and satyrs from the starting army into one big block so that we don't take a morale penalty on our black centaurs. We want to make sure that they are not routing or not. It's unlikely that they're going to rout because they're berserking, but we still want to avoid any potential complications. Plus, the javelin is nice on these satyrs, but it's not a huge deal that we especially care about. Sometimes they will still actually throw their javelin, but the majority of the time when you mix them in with other non-ranged units, they won't throw their javelin. So we'll see how that goes. Not especially worried about it. We are attacking into Muspel. This has some archers, heavy infantries, and militias. Unfortunately, we did not. I really wanted to attack in Frosted Peaks because there's a bunch of deer tribe here and I wanted to get up north. but we did not get a heat scale in here this turn, so we'll have to wait. Hopefully next turn or the turn after, we'll see. Kind of hemmed in at the moment by this throne and this mountain pass. So we're gonna go down south with the intention of hopefully hitting Monarch Woods, depending on what is there afterwards. This barbarian encampment is a little bit dangerous, a little bit threatening. It's very unlikely that they're going to hit our black centaurs, but they can chop shop our satyrs. And if it's only black centaurs, then 60 barbarians can absolutely potentially do the work if they roll lucky, just by killing one or two of the black centaurs, by surrounding them and then routing the rest before the rest rout the barbarians, basically. So got that going on. Hopefully we'll hit Muspel, move into Monarch Woods, and hopefully we'll also move into Sitha or Frosted Peaks next turn with, I'm sure, obviously not how to pronounce this, but Tall Thigh Boys, I love it, who will be able to lead a group of additional Black Centaurs, so recruiting 5 Black Centaurs. We're also recruiting a Satyr Commander and a Black Harpy for scouting, Satyr Commander to have additional commanders to ferry troops around. So for instance, if we moving into Muspel, if we're able to move into Monarch Woods next turn, great. As we move into something like Sitha or Frosted Peaks, then this Satyr Commander will be around to ferry troops into something like Ikden or Sitha or wherever we need to go if we need to reinforce a particular unit. So that's the overall game plan with that concept. I think I'm relatively I feel fine about this. I am somewhat concerned about the number of archers here. That is an actual way for our Black Centaurs to die. It's pretty hard for our Black Centaurs to die in melee, but they can be overwhelmed if they are surrounded by hard-hitting units that get lucky, right? Or if they are charging into a large group of ranged units, and those ranged units point blank shoot them a bunch of times, that can also whittle them down pretty fucking fast. Fortunately, I don't think that we're going to run into too many here. It doesn't seem like too large of a province, so hopefully we'll be fine. And then the flip side of it is I didn't really talk about this last time, but in addition to the heroism stacks and everything like that we're going to get, we have recuperation on all our Black Centaurs, which means that even if we take a couple wounds here or there, we're going to recuperate from the wounds that we get, from diseases that we get, those types of things, to make sure that these guys are around for a long time. And that's really important. So another really interesting thing about this turn is that we actually got 5 of our Sagittarian carcasses, that's what it is, not corpses, from a combination of free spawn and reanimation this turn. And that's fantastic. These things are actually quite good, very decent to utilize in the early game. The bless that we have isn't especially useful for them in the concept of like defense skill. It'll still make them somewhat difficult for lower tier units to deal with, especially since they have some high HP, but it's not going to be that big of a deal. But getting heroism on them will get them more experience, will boost up their precision, and that actually is pretty nice. The Vine Bow is a pretty decent weapon, not just because it's a magic weapon, which we don't actually have, but it also has a entanglement on it, which can be very, very useful for a lot of different individuals, primarily against cavalry or things like that. So that's really cool. We're very lucky to get 5 of them in one turn, so that's very exciting. We're probably going to make use of them very early on by sending them out with either a Centaur Hierophant or with our Carrion Centaur or something like that. So pretty excited about that. After this turn, we're probably going to go back to recruiting mostly Centaur Hierophants basically every turn for a couple of turns, so that we can send out these little groups of 5 Black Centaurs, Centaur Hierophant, 5 Black Centaurs, Centaur Hierophant. These guys also do have natural undead leadership, which was one of the things that I was playing around with the concept of taking on our Bless rather than taking something like Mending Bones, is just taking more undead leadership so that everyone could have some mannequins. But these guys have a base of 10, and they have a 50-50 chance of having death. If they have the death, that's going to be more like 50 or something like that that they can carry around with them. So, we'll be able to move big groups of our mannequins around to be chaff for our black centaurs, which is going to be very, very useful in rapidly expanding. And we really need to rapidly expand. I am very sure that if we only hit like 12 to 15 provinces, someone's going to try to eat us, because not only will we be small, but we will also be Asphodel, and someone will be like, let's not let Asphodel pop kill this fucking location since they're small. Let's try to fucking like get in there and root them out, right? So hopefully things go very well for us. Let's take this opportunity to actually look at our opponents, our fellow players, and we'll actually talk through who each and every one is. I'm going to click over here real quick, and I'm going to hope that this doesn't fuck up the recording again, because it's been fucking up the recording. I've done this recording. This will be the third time that I've done this recording. Hopefully it does not. Fingers crossed. Okay, it looks like everything is fine. Sweet. Okay. Let's take a look at our opponents. We've got, what is this, 12 people? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12? Yeah, we've got 12 people in this game. Nice size game, good size game. Not too big, not too small. Let's fucking do it. We've got Pythium. Fuck yeah, Pythium. So, Pythium is being played by Grippa. Grippa and I have a little bit of a history. Sorry, Grippa, I apologize. I love you. Very, very excited. I think Pythia is a very cool nation, and I've heard really good things about where they're, well, not maybe really good things. I've heard pretty good things about where they're at right now in Dom 6, so I'm excited to see how they work out. We've got, it's Kidzen, who is being played by Kidzen, playing Man, which I think Man is awesome. One, they do have glamour, so they get to play with the new tools, but two, these Knights of Avalon are absolutely disgusting. They're super expensive, but they have a lot going on. This is just base stuff, right? Like, so base, poison resistance, forest movement, recuperation, spirit sight on the unicorn, disease resistance, right? Like, they're a smart mount, so if you lose the rider, you can get the unit back, right? You don't get all of the unicorn stuff on the actual knight, but you get a lot. They have a full-ass lance, they have a broadsword, they have a built-in magic weapon, they have a hoof, they have 21 protection, high hit points. These things are fucking killer. I love them. They're fantastic. So, very, very cool. We have Magic Rock, or It's a Magic Rock, Agartha, being played by Phao. I don't, again, if I mispronounce anyone's names, I apologize, let me know. I'm just rocking off of what I've heard, or what I'm guessing is the correct pronunciation. So Agartha, always a cool nation, just not a nation that I have a lot of experience with, so hopefully we'll see some fun stuff out of that. It's Not a Dragon, being played by Saquenay. Another name that I'm very familiar with and I'm used to hearing, but I don't know if I'm actually pronouncing it correct. Middle-aged Ulm, quintessential Dominions nation, very cool, very very tough. Having 23 protection is actually a bit of a problem for us. Upside is they do have decently high encumbrance, which can mean that fatiguing them out with our mannequins is easier overall, but not a guarantee. So, very interesting nation. We have Pyrene, whichever how you pronounce it. It's a Fever Dream, being played by False God. False God's awesome, does a lot of YouTube content. We've got Kitty Doth Meoweth the Most, Abysia being played by Ballin Stallin. Very aggressive player, very good player, very intimidating player. Is underground and hopefully not near me. Abysia is scary. Abysia is fucking Ulm with fire. Hate it. Love it, hate it. We have It's a Dry Heat, Nabah. Nabah is a very interesting nation being played by DarkSideCookies. So yeah, very cool stuff. We have It's a Monkey, Life Could Be a Dream, Bandar log being played by, I think, Iflyte or Iflyte. I'm not 100% sure on how to pronounce that. I've actually played in a game with them before, ages and ages ago. I don't remember if they're a content creator or not, but I will have figured that out by the time this goes up, and there will be links if they are. But yeah, Bandar log is a very interesting nation. Their tiger riders can be especially crazy, very, very killy. So kind of interested in seeing what happens with them. It'll be cool. It's cold outside, baby. Phaeacia. I have almost no experience with Phaeacia, but I know that they're a skill cap kind of like nation, if I am kind of interpreting that correctly, that they have some really cool tricks that they can do, and that their mages are especially interesting if you know what you're doing with them. So very intrigued to see what happens with Phaeacia, being played by kirbyredson. Kirby. Always fun. We have It's a Monolith, I Promise. Vanarus being played by Zan. Zan is another great creator, does a lot of really good stuff, and is basically hosting this game. And then we have It's Frozone, Jotunheim. Ugh, Jotunheim, played by LulusSnugglebun. So Jotunheim always worries me as a nation, but yeah, fun stuff. Anyways, that is the peeps. We did get a little bit of expansion in our field division up here based off of our Dominion moving, so that's kind of cool. But still no real idea on who is nearby, who we are surrounded with. But yeah, that's gonna be it. Thanks for hanging out. We'll see you on the next video. Hopefully we will have expanded well. Oh, I wanted to point these out. We're not going to be worried about mercs because we don't have the money for mercs. We do not have the money for mercs. I don't know, actually, if this is a... I don't know if this is a scales-based thing, because I could see it being a scales-based thing, or if this is a nation-based thing, but mercs are stupid expensive for us, period. So we're probably never going to be interested in mercs. But the merc bidding has already been happening, to my understanding. Far Striker's already been purchased by Agartha, and we've got Fordo's Boggets, Elite Warriors. I'm very interested to see if anyone's going to pick them up. I hear a lot of people, maybe not a lot of people, when I hear about them, it's mostly disparaging, but I think they're pretty useful for lance catchers and things like that, depending on what you have in your cap circle or what you feel like you've got to expand into. So, obviously, we would not be buying them, but, you know, each their own. Anyways, that's going to be it. Thanks for hanging out. We will see you next time for more the slow splits. Bye-bye, everybody.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, consider leaving a like, commenting, or subscribing. It really helps me out. If you'd like to see me live, head over to my Twitch at twitch.tv/thedistanthorizon.